Some people might compare a law school graduation to the hatching of a brood of cockroaches. And we should concede that it's not obvious why exactly it's an occasion worth celebrating. Law school is not a fun time. It is, for many people, a harrowing ordeal. Your friends and family attending this event will know that law school was hard. But unless they themselves are lawyers, they'll have no conception of just how grueling the experience really was. And at the end of it all, it will have turned you into bitter and vindictive people. If not, you didn't do it right. So what then is there worth celebrating? It's true that lawyers are, by and large, bitter and vindictive. We are horrible people. And those who disagree are probably the most horrible ones. They just don't realize it, which is what makes them so horrible. The bitterness and vindictiveness are the costs we pay, but we accept them because there's a benefit, and because we're rational actors, and because we get a surplus from the exchange. Your friends and family may think the benefit you received was knowledge of the law. You know that it is not. At least, you will know once you start bar prep. You leave law school not with knowledge of the law, but a way of thinking, which happens to be useful in the law. The most cynical among you are now rolling your eyes at the tired cliché that law school teaches you how to think like a lawyer. But it's true, and it is all the difference these past years have made. All that effort and agony have been for this alone, to acquire the ineffable character of mind which now you have, which previously you had not. Okay, but what is this ineffable character of mind that you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and 3 or 4 years of your lives acquiring? I contend that it's a real and measurable thing. Consider this. I expect by now that all of you have had the unpleasant experience of interacting with non-lawyers, which was unpleasant because it was an interaction with non-lawyers. I expect that, like me, you will grow to find non-lawyers increasingly difficult to endure. You try and talk to them, but they seem to understand only 80% of what you say. Worse, only 40% of what they read. These non-lawyers have trouble following even a simple chain of inferences. They're pathetic. But they're everywhere. Now, I want to be clear, because some of you are thinking to yourselves that you have a friend who's a physicist or an artist or a doctor, and maybe you don't think they're so stupid. Well, I'm not saying they're stupid in every way. I'm saying they're stupid in a very specific way. It is the way that law school trains you not to be stupid. And the people who haven't gone through it will always seem to the people who have gone through it like they just don't get it. It's like they're always half asleep, never really present in the world. In other words, they're like 1Ls on the first day of law school. Let the magnitude of the frustration you feel when dealing with non-lawyers be the yardstick by which to measure how far you've come. It is the difference between who you are and who you were made palpable. I expect that most of you will, upon reflection, find that you've come quite far by that metric. But you may, from time to time, question whether it's been movement in a positive direction. I believe that it has been, because I think a person is nothing more than the sum of their thoughts. And if you're nothing but your thoughts, then the consequence of being trained to be a better thinker is simply that you've been made into a better person, more able to experience the world. And I can't think of any cost that would countervail against a benefit like that. The non-lawyer seems to us half asleep because we know what it is to be awake. We're able to navigate with ease a tangle of logic which would befuddle any normal person. We can do this not because we're brilliant, but because we're trained. It is, after all, why your clients will pay you. They will pay you to understand, to reason, and to argue on their behalf. Your graduation is an especially poignant occasion for me because you were my first class of law students. And as you were learning to become lawyers, I was learning how to teach you to become lawyers. But more than this, I got to relive the experience of being a law student through you. It was like rewatching a movie you've already seen where you know what happens next, but the person you're watching it with doesn't. And you get to feel the suspense and anticipation of watching it for the first time vicariously. For these reasons, it feels a bit to me like we're graduating together today. I hope this occasion is a poignant one for you also. For most of you, it'll be the last time you graduate from anything. It marks not only the conclusion of your legal education, but your education altogether. Though I hope you remain studious. After today, you'll no longer be students. These are the reasons that we should celebrate this day as you proceed to the next stage of your lives, better, more thoughtful human beings. And if this seems to you an overly sentimental note on which to end, you will recall that I started these remarks comparing you to cockroaches.